Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Sit back, relax, and listen as we have a calm conversation about the mundane so that you can just drift off. Maybe you're just going to listen. Maybe you're going to drift off, come back to it, listen, and drift off again. Whatever suits you, that's what we're here for. I'm your host, Marco Timpano, and joining me is Amanda Barker.
I'm here. Here I am.
And thank you all for listening, and thank you for those who have given us great feedback regarding the subscription for ad-free episodes. If you go to our show notes, you can click on the button and it'll take you there. But Amanda, I reached out to our social media, and I shouldn't say but, and Amanda, I reached out to our social media and I said we were recording this evening, and if anyone had any questions, to lob them our way and we would answer them.
Lob them.
Lob them like a tennis racket.
Nice.
Do you enjoy tennis?
I wish I want to do something rackety.
Like what? Like tennis?
Like badminton, as we say in the States, or badminton,
Badminton is how we
as
say.
it's probably supposed to be said. I would love to do that. Like, I'd love it if you and I were like, we're going off to play couples tennis or couples badminton.
I love squash.
Okay, can we do that?
Well, now I have a brace, so it's not so easy for me to play squash. Right.
No, but you can.
I can figure it out.
We're already into your brace.
I didn't want to talk about
2
my
minutes
brace.
into your. I feel like you can, though. Isn't that the whole point of the brace, that it helps you?
We'll figure it out. Folks, I have a brace, but I'm good, so don't worry about it.
Brace yourself.
Brace yourself for this episode. I didn't mean to talk about my brace.
Well, now we're in it. I think you need to talk about it.
I have a brace that helps my ankle to keep it all in place, and all is good.
You got it yesterday.
Yes,
so it's a fresh brace.
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get to our questions from the people who reached out to us.
Oh, that's exciting. And this is all off the cuff.
This is all off the cuff.
Except for one, I know.
One you know, and we'll get to that one right away.
Okay.
So this is from Kelly Goldman on Instagram, and her pictures look like she's the kind of person that you would just want to be with. She just sounds like she's so much fun.
Should I go to these people's Instagrams as we go?
Yeah, do you want to? Because
yeah, I do.
Okay, I'll pass it to you because it's like
I'm not on Instagram enough. And,
no. If people want to find you on Instagram, where would they go?
Amanda J. Barker.
Okay, so there you go. And I'm the real Am I the real Marco Timpano? That's another story altogether because I have Marco Timpano, but I can't remember the password, so I had to do another one, which is the real Marco Timpano. So, there's a new episode. There's a new question that I don't have. What kind of? Okay, so these are the people. So
okay, but hang on. I wanted to find them and talk about each of their personal Instagrams. Is that what we're doing?
Well, I'm giving it to you. You can click on them.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the bottom one first, okay?
Kelly Goldman.
So Kelly Goldman seems like a lot of fun.
Oh, Kelly is a lot of fun.
She's the type of person you want to have dinner with, or you want to be like, Kelly.
She's a runner.
Kelly, well, I don't want to run, but it's like, Kelly, meet us for drinks, and Kelly's going to come and just bring a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is what Kelly asks.
Do we want to know where Kelly is? Like, am I allowed to say that or no?
No, let's.
Kelly didn't consent to that.
She didn't,
okay.
But I'm saying their names because it's on our social media.
Got it.
And Kelly, if you don't want to, I'll cut this part out and remove it once you've listened.
Okay.
Just let us know. Kelly asks, what were some new hobbies / activities that you picked up to relax during these times, and will you continue with them in the future?
So
I have an answer. What's your answer?
My answer is we did a podcast.
We did.
For a year, and it was sort of like a hobby because we wanted to do it every day. And there's that thing where if you do something every day, it sticks or something. I don't know. Anyway, so we did a podcast called Born on This Day.
And it was a lot of work.
It was doing a podcast every single day. And there was a lot of research and writing, of which I didn't do any, and it was still a lot of work. And I did the least amount of work of the three of us. So that's one.
So to answer that, we will not be doing that podcast in the future.
No, it was meant to be a 1-year thing. It was meant to be a 365-day thing.
But the other hobby that we started was, and we've mentioned it several times on the podcast, we started playing board games.
Yeah, that's true.
And we fell in love with this one board game called Wingspan. Mm-hmm. And we will continue to play that in the future because we play it all the time. It's a fun, relaxing board game. Amanda's really great at it. And one of the things I love about Amanda
Aw.
is ever since I knew you and ever since we've known each other, if we were playing a game with friends and if Amanda wins or if Amanda loses, she is the best sport ever. She doesn't make a big deal out of winning and she doesn't get mad if she loses. She just enjoys playing with friends. And I've learned a lot from that and I've tried to adopt that into
It's
my...
really a kind thing to say.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
And I don't, I'm not... It's interesting. I'm not competitive like that.
Mm-hmm.
The only person I'm competitive with is myself, but I'm not competitive with other people. I still sometimes struggle with what is jealousy.
Sure.
You know, not because I'm not sure that that's something that I deal with the same as other people. I'm sure I must, but
Amanda's really great at this game. Wingspan. She's excellent at it, but I still enjoy, even if I lose, I've had a great time playing.
I love a game. I love playing games, and I don't care. I just like a game I understand. If I don't understand it, I don't enjoy it. But other than that,
I bet if we played a game with Kelly Goldman, we'd have a great time.
I would love to.
All right, let's go to the next person. Knitwise09. Knitwise has a lot of pictures on the Instagram of knitting.
Yeah.
And Knitwise's knitting is fantastic.
Oh my gosh, look at this amazing knitter.
They do amazing knitting, and I think I've mentioned it before.
Look at these
I
things.
know.
So cute.
I know.
Oh my
And
gosh.
and when you do things that are small like that, it's not easy.
No. Oh, and this Knitwise has a mug that says "Kindness Matters." I like Knitwise.
Knitwise is
Oh my God, this is so great. Knitwise has. I know we weren't going to talk about people's. Has a nest with an egg, a robin's egg in it.
Knitwise.
All knit. So
Knitwise
cool.
is the type of person who I bet gives amazing gifts. If you're like, how sometimes you do, what is it called when you have Christmas and everybody picks a name? Like a Secret Santa.
Secret Santa, yeah.
You want Knitwise to pick your name because you know you're going to get something
But it's
great.
not a secret because you're like, I know who knitted this.
Yeah. All right. But it doesn't matter because you're like,
Okay.
they're the best. Okay,
Knitwise's question.
what do you do when you can't sleep?
Me or you?
Start with you.
Well, we have an interesting thing. I believe a lot in energy exchange. We can do why don't we do a whole podcast on that?
Okay.
And
In the
I'm
future.
still trying to figure out what I even mean by that because
Sure.
even I don't know what I mean by that. But I do know one universal thing to be true in this house, that generally speaking, when one of us has insomnia, the other does not.
Right.
It's just a thing. Not
Sure.
to say that
We take turns.
we just take turns. And so to that end, when I can't sleep, a British TV show goes a long way.
We've mentioned it before. We love those
we
British
always talk
shows.
about that.
And thank you, the UK, for producing such lovely shows
Oh my gosh, yeah.
that are gentle and beautiful
Yeah, rolling
and
hills
delightful.
and joyful people. Joyful, gentle people.
There's a show called The Repair Shop that I love, but the commercials that they put on here in Canada are loud, but the show itself is just serene and wonderful.
And we've talked about my unique Airbnb or my unique B&B, and it's still my go-to. I just love it.
Let's not forget Portrait Artist of the Year
Yeah, that's
or
great.
Landscape Artist of the Year.
Ooh, yeah,
So great.
that'll knock you out. Anyway, the other thing I'll do is I'll take a bath.
Oh, yes, Amanda's the queen of the baths.
Even if
yeah.
it's 4 a.m, I'll do it. How about you?
I will usually change the setting where I am. So I'll leave the bedroom.
Yeah.
I will go downstairs. I will maybe have a snack, which I shouldn't do, but I know I do that. Sometimes I'll have warm milk with honey, and I'll turn on the television set.
Honey, really? Warm milk with honey?
Yeah, warm milk with honey.
I feel like the honey would wake you up, though, no?
No, it's relaxing. It adds the sweetness that I need. And I'll put it on a calm show, usually a show that I've watched many times, like The Golden Girls, which I call the heavy hitters because they really...
Well, hang on. I'm the one who's coined that phrase in this house. I'll be like, oh, we're bringing out. When he'd be like, I'm going to put on The Golden Girls. I'm like, oh, you're putting on the heavy hitters. Like you are ready to sleep.
And there's like
because we have our in between sleep shows, the kind of fun chill shows that are still funny, and then we have the heavy hitters.
Sometimes I'll put on MASH.
Yeah, MASH will not help me to sleep.
That's why I watch it when you're not there. I'll put MASH on. MASH usually will help me too. And usually that'll help me. And sometimes, knit-wise, even if you're able to just lay and just be and rest as best you can, I realize I try to be like, if I can just rest, even if I don't find my way to sleep and I rest, that can be good for you too. So that's what I try. I try not to. My biggest thing is I just try to be still and be myself and not stress. And sometimes sleep comes and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
So thank you for that question, Knitwise.
The other thing I do is, and I think we've talked about this too, is I try to plan out designs. So I'll be like, okay, I'm going to build a tiny house in my mind, a tiny house that I'm going to build. And then I'll go, okay, what do I want the kitchen to look like? What kind of tile do I want? What kind of grout do I want? Do I want granite? Do I want to go marble? Okay, what are the floors? I'm out by the time I never get past the kitchen.
That's wonderful. Speaking of designers, our next question comes from a designer, Lisa Cole.
Oh.
And Lisa Cole is a great designer, and they also do fantastic clay items.
Oh my goodness, look
and
at this.
Every single clay item Lisa Cole does speaks to me. It's like I would buy that. It's awesome. It's kind of this modernist. I hope I'm right when I say modernist, but it's the kind of thing you would find, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but you'd find it in a museum gift shop where you're like, I just saw this artist, and now here is a replica, and I can take it home, and you're like all the richer for it. That's how it speaks to me. I don't know what you think of Lisa Cole's designs.
Oh, I'm obsessed with Lisa Cole. I'm looking at Lisa Cole right now and Lisa Cole's residencies. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is exactly. If Lisa Cole had a TV show, I would watch it.
Oh, we would PVR Lisa Cole's TV show.
Because what's that one we loved? The pottery, Britain's pottery. It was British and it was a pottery reality show.
Yeah, it was a pottery show.
Love that show.
And one of the hosts who was
what
this
is
big...
it? The Great Pottery Throwdown?
Yes.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
And we found that show.
We end up getting to know famous people in England that we've never heard of through these shows, right?
You know how we found that show? The host of that show was on an episode of Portrait
Artist of the Year. And they're like, she's the host of because Portrait Artist of the Year, they announce these people, and we're like, we've never heard of any of them.
Yes.
But it's still,
very
excited.
Every once in a while there's someone I've heard of.
I mean, every once in a while you're like, I think she was on Rome. He was on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But like, generally speaking, we don't know them. Most of them. Some of them. Some of them
we do, but more often than not we don't. And the host, I apologize, I don't remember her name, happened to be someone they were painting a portrait of.
And as soon as they said it, we went, what's that show? We need to find that show. And so we looked it up
and we found it. All right, so Lisa Cole asks a two-part question.
Lisa Cole should go on that show because I think Lisa Cole is in England.
Lisa Cole would win that show.
I know.
Lisa Cole would, like, if they're like, okay, Lisa Cole, your task this time is to... Didn't they have to make a toilet out of clay once?
Yeah, that was like the big final thing.
I'll make you a toilet you won't forget. All right, here we go. Sorry, I don't mean to... I hope Lisa doesn't get offended by the things I say. I apologize in advance.
Because that's not part of her design.
No, she does not make toilets. She does not make toilets.
Okay.
She makes great things. Okay, how do you drink your hot chocolate and marshmallows, good or bad?
Oh, are you a marshmallows in or marshmallows out hot chocolate?
Yeah, so I'll start.
Okay.
We're very fortunate because we have this little machine called an Aerochino that froths milk because I enjoy cappuccinos. And as a consequence of I loving cappuccinos, my wife is not only an expert cappuccino maker, but she loves them too.
Your obsession is my gain.
There you go. And so we will heat the milk in that little contraption and then add chocolate to it. I prefer powdered chocolate when I'm making hot chocolate. Amanda prefers the syrup, right?
No.
Okay.
The syrup melts better.
I'm putting syrup in your mouth.
I mean, I made one with syrup the other day, so I think that's why you think that.
We currently have like a spicy, peppery hot chocolate. I'm not so in love with that one.
I love pepper in my chocolate, but
remember we had the pink hot chocolate?
Yeah.
What do they call the pink hot
chocolate?
Ruby hot chocolate was so good.
Ruby chocolate, yeah.
So I love marshmallows. I love hot chocolate. I love the idea of marshmallows and hot chocolate.
Okay.
But they don't melt enough, and it's hard to drink with the marshmallows. So I'm torn because everything in me loves it, but the practicality of I find difficult. Where do you stand?
I mean, my thing is, if I'm making you a hot chocolate, I'm probably not going to be like, let's toss some marshmallows in there.
Right.
In fact, we have marshmallows. We could have done that. I made hot chocolate the other night.
We have marshmallows? I don't think so.
I thought we did.
No,
but they might be like rock hard. But you can get back a marshmallow, put it in the microwave, it'll get soft again.
The best way to reconstitute a marshmallow is to put it in hot chocolate.
So anyway, hardened marshmallows aside, see, I grew up calling it cocoa. So for me, cocoa doesn't always have marshmallows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cocoa.
Although, I mean, it does. You could put marshmallows, but the little like multicolored ones.
So
that's what I like. The little multicolored
just
ones.
to dive deeper here, Lisa Cole. Amanda does something with hot chocolate that I cannot stand behind.
Oh yeah.
I only make hot chocolate with milk.
And I grew up making it with water. I mean, it's not to say we wouldn't have it with milk, but that was considered like 9 times out of 10 it was water.
And hot chocolate with water is not for me.
It's so much so that you asked a friend of ours, do you make it with milk or water? And he said, milk. What am I? A farmer? I don't know. He said, what am I, a heathen? I think he said.
I don't think he said a farmer because he loves farmers.
A heathen then, I guess.
Okay. We love farmers.
He loves heathens.
If you happen to be a farmer listening to
It's a joke from 30 Rock.
Okay. Well, the other question, the follow-up question Lisa Cole has is, how do you stay warm in the winter?
Oh, my goodness.
And I know Amanda's...
I've been complaining. It's been so cold.
Sometimes, Amanda, I'll say to her, oh, your hands or your feet are so cold. Don't touch me. And she'll say...
No, you'll be like, no, you don't say it like that. This is where it sounds like we're fighting and we're not.
We were talking about that earlier. It's like it sounds like we're fighting, but we never are.
I will try to embrace you tenderly and you'll shriek and say, your hands are so cold. How dare you touch me? Your hands are so cold. Words to that effect.
No, I never say, how dare you touch
me.
I say,
I don't want to, I'm trying to say it in a calm and gentle Insomnia Project way versus what you say.
Okay.
But anyways.
Needless to say, I say, it's don't touch me with those cold hands, something like that.
And I like to sometimes pretend that there's cryogenic benefits of my hands and feet because they're so cold, and that it's part of a therapy that we should all indulge.
She'll touch my love handles and say, I'm cool sculpting them so the fat goes away. That's what she'll say.
Okay, I don't...
Amanda, you're laughing and you're going to wake people up.
I'm sorry.
So then Amanda will say this when I say to her, when I say...
You're the one who started that, for the record. You make me sound so mean.
The truth is the truth. And Amanda will say, for any new listeners, we apologize for this moment of levity.
I apologize for all of this.
Amanda will say, if you find them cold, imagine the person who's attached to them, how cold they are.
You act like, how dare I touch you with my cold hands? And I'm like, but do you know what it feels like to own those hands?
I know.
Anyway.
Poor Lisa Cole's like, why did I ask this question? So, Amanda, what do you do
to stay warm in the winter? Number one thing, nothing. And I just stay freezing cold.
No, that's not
and
true.
I complain.
That's not true.
Number two thing, I take a bath. Because the way my extremities work, if my feet are cold, you could put 5 pairs of socks, 3 blankets on top of them. It doesn't matter. If the circulation or whatever it is isn't happening, they will just remain cold for hours. So a bath usually for me is the quickest way to properly warm up.
Amanda bought me a hot water bottle for Christmas, which I love. Sometimes I'll fill that up with hot water and I'll put it on your feet.
That makes a difference. That's amazing.
And if you don't have a hot water bottle, here's an amazing Amanda Barker tip.
Oh. I don't know.
What did you use in Halifax when you didn't have...
Oh, I just straight up took plastic water bottles,
I thought it was a wine bottle with a cork.
No.
I thought it was a wine bottle with a cork that you put hot water in.
I don't know where that version... That's an urban myth.
Okay.
No.
But you take, like, Coke bottles?
Like a Dasani bottle, like any bottle that had water in it usually, or whatever. Anyway, yeah, you could use a pop bottle or soda bottle. Anyway, filling it up with just the hottest tap water, like nothing fancy, just the hot tap water, and putting it in the bed with you. Just obviously screw it tight so it doesn't leak. And that actually kept us warm in a very cold place, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a real, like, when you're on the move and you got nothing kind of trick.
Yeah. What do I do? What do I do when I'm cold? Now I feel like I take a bath because you taught me to take baths.
You take showers more than you take baths.
That's true.
To warm up. But to warm up when you're cold, you like the weighted blanket.
I do like the weighted blanket.
I like a blanket, but the weighted one...
it doesn't work for you.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
But it's for you. You love it.
Yeah, weighted blanket works for me.
What else do you do to warm up?
Oh, I have a pair of cashmere socks that someone who loves me bought many years ago. And I've worn them every year for many years. Whenever my feet are very cold, I put them on. So thank you, Amanda, for that lovely gift you got me many years ago.
You're welcome.
All right. So I think we have one more question, but you have the cell phone, so I don't even know who it's from.
It's from Amanda Pepple? No, I'm saying this wrong. Amanda Monk,
And what does she ask?
I think.
And I haven't seen her. I haven't seen what her.
So the question is, what kind of music do you listen to?
But we should mention. We can't see Amanda's pictures because this account is private and she hasn't accepted us yet, which is totally fine, and she doesn't have to. But I imagine she's cool because it looks like she's having fun on the ice.
Cool.
No, it's on the water. Oh, you would love this picture because it's on the water.
Okay.
Okay, so what was the question again?
What kind of music
do you listen to?
And so I was just looking for my Spotify because I was going to invite everybody to follow me on Spotify. I mean, I think it's just Amanda Barker.
We actually, if you play Wingspan, we have a Wingspan playlist you can listen to.
I think you can just go to Amanda Barker on Spotify and see. There's a playlist that every time I like a song over the years, and now this playlist I think is 5 years long. So every few months I add a song to it, and it's called Yas, YAHS. And so it's become a soundtrack of the last few years because every time I like a song and listen to it a few times and go, okay, we'll throw it on the Yes soundtrack. No rhyme or reason to it, but
generally speaking, I like 80s music.
You do.
That's what I like.
You like new wave 80s.
I like new wave. I like Sia. I like female voices that have a distinct quality to them, right? Like Rihanna.
You do. That's actually a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
You like a husky, like a Laura Branigan kind of voice, or a voice that has some texture to it.
Sia, Rihanna.
Yeah.
Who else do I like?
I like a lot of female singers.
Yeah, I do like a lot.
I mean, you love Dolly.
I think everyone knows, but if you don't, if you're listening for the first time, I love Dolly Parton, and
she's amazing.
I've done a whole episode on Dolly Parton, but we should do an episode on Dolly Parton.
Sure. And actually, I'd love to do one on Paul Simon because I'm listening to an amazing book right now called Miracle and Wonder about Paul Simon.
Yeah, recommend the
Malcolm
book.
Gladwell is the one who put it together.
And you're listening to the audiobook, so you recommend the audiobook too?
I think it only exists as an audiobook
I see.
because it almost feels like a podcast. But if you're into Paul Simon at all, it's an amazing listen. I got it, on my app, Libby, and it's I love Paul Simon, so if you love songwriting or artistry of any kind, it is a great listen. Miracle and Wonder.
And if you want to hear a podcast on Dolly Parton, that's fantastic. It's a 6 or 8 part podcast, so only 6 or 8 episodes, and it's called Dolly Parton's America, and it's fantastic. So those are 2 recos.
Yeah,
from
they're very similarly done, actually. Dolly Parton's America, and then Miracle and Wonder, Conversations with Paul Simon with Malcolm Gladwell.
Malcolm Gladwell, what does he write?
He wrote Blink.
Oh, yes, he wrote Blink. I didn't love Blink so much. I wanted to like it more than I...
He's quite prolific, and he has a whole industry called Pushkin, and anyway, he's got lots of things going on. And
he's Canadian, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
And he's got funky hair. Like Margaret Atwood has funky hair. Like they have very distinct hair, and there are 2 Canadian writers that have very distinct hair. Just pointing it out.
Malcolm Gladwell has doing. I need to get to know him better because he's doing some interesting things.
Yeah, he did Blink and he did the other one.
He's got a book called Talking to Strangers, which looks really good, and it's what we should know about the people we didn't know. Oh,
cool. See, I'm a bigger Bill Bryson fan when it comes to that kind of literature.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Anyway,
Speaking of literature,
but this was about getting warm. I don't know how we got on Paul Simon.
no, this was about music now.
Oh, music.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So I really do love music and all kinds of music because I didn't really properly answer the question. But do follow me on Spotify. I am one of those people who says, I love all music. And then you go, well, but do you? I do, though. I mean, even classical, which is classical and country seem to be the two that people are like, but do you like that? It's like, yeah, no, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What were you going to say?
We recently saw David Sedaris, speaking of writers, perform live, and he was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He was fantastic.
I will say I have a real penchant for 90s dance music. That's like my dirty, guilty pleasure when I need it to be.
I don't know what dirty has to come into that.
Well, it's not great music.
Okay.
There's nobody on earth that's going to say this is a fine piece of art that,
sure.
Like Sonique or
I love Sonique.
The Real McCoy.
Sonique is amazing.
Okay, how about The Real McCoy?
Okay, that's fair.
Or any of those.
We were supposed to talk about your new backpack, but we're getting to the end of the episode.
Wow, there's more backpack episodes where that came from.
Amanda bought a new backpack, and we'll talk about it in a future episode.
Ooh.
That was going to be the exciting
I love
portion.
my backpacks. And I think I have talked about backpacks on this podcast before.
We've talked about how you acquired my backpack that I was going to get rid of, and you love it and I don't. But this is a new backpack, and you bought it for a special reason, and it's a special backpack. So we'll talk about that.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. I now feel like we should talk about it because we've introduced it. It's just exciting enough.
It's just exciting enough. So it's yellow and fun, and we'll talk about that in another episode. Okay. Until then, we hope you enjoy this. Thank you, everyone, for submitting your questions. Of course, you don't have to wait for an invitation to submit a question to us. We'll be happy to answer them. Submit them anytime you want. But I'll do that more. I'll open it up. I'll put something on social media saying we're taking questions for this episode. And Amanda, you have a bunch of episode ideas that will be coming up as well. So that's going to be fun as well. And until then, on behalf of myself
and me and our baths and warm milk and honey,
we hope you were able to listen and sleep.